I've had several questions, even though the Coosa X is an extremely new boat. I've had several questions about what kind of a fly platform it would be. And in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a wonderful fly platform. But I want to show you a couple things that I've done here just to kind of go over, certain ways that I think will just increase the fly fishability of the X. The number one is going to be the little knobs, and I talked about it in our intro video before, about the little knobs that are fly line catchers. Now I've modified those. I'm going to put up a close-up picture of that modification. The other thing that I did is modified how the rods go in it. Now I know in our talk earlier, the rods were in a vertical configuration, and that's fine. But for me, I found actually it works better to have them set up the way I've got them set up down here. You can see the way, instead of having the vertical configuration, I went with the horizontal. The horizontal, there's a small plate on the back of this that allows me to trim it in and out. I'll show pictures of that on the inset. But this allows it to be side by side, and honestly I could carry 6 fly rods on here without issue, without them tangling up. And the beauty of that is I can grab, like this has got a Clouser, this has got a Stealth Bomber on it. I can go back and forth without having to dig through the rods, if I wanted to go from surface or subsurface. But it's a really good setup for what it is. I'm very impressed with the way this boat will hold and keep them in and protected. You see, even though this is right at the edge of the boat, the fat part of the boat would have already gone through everything that you were going through, and it will push you to the side. So this is a really good way to set up your rods if you're going to carry for fly rods. All right, the other thing that I'm going to do to make my boat fly ready is I'm going to pull off everything that doesn't need to be in front of me. And as much as I like these type rod holders, to me when I'm fly fishing, these will catch the line, so I want them as far back. I've even, all of my little bolts that I modified, I even modified the bolts on the front of the seat just so they will not catch fly line. The other thing I would do is, since I strip line and all of my line tends to go to the left side or over the left side of my boat, I will move the paddle holder from the left side to the right side, just so the left side is completely bare and devoid of anything that will hang line. One thing that's always extremely important to me in a fly boat is stability, because I cast much better standing than I do sitting. The one benefit of the X is how high the seat actually is when you're seated. So you've got plenty of room, up here. There's a lot of clearance. If you're going to sit, this is a wonderful boat to sit and fly fish from. Me personally, if I can get away with it, I'd rather stand. And it just makes casting easier for me. Now when I'm standing, the other problem is going to be, what do you do with your paddle? I like my paddle belt, but being able to maneuver, I know in the Mayfly I used to have to pull the paddle against my chest to be able to turn quickly, and although it was a really good boat, it just didn't have quite the maneuverability of the X. So to me, this boat, just with very little effort, you can turn and point whichever way you need to. Put your paddle back in your vest and get back to fishing. You can see by kind of changing the deck around, just by altering the screws, making sure that I move this to this side, that if I was serious fly fishing, that I could turn this boat into a wonderful, wonderful fly fishing vessel. And that's coming next year when it warms up, because I do not fly fish when it's cold. I don't even like being out here, but I wanted to show you guys the possibilities with this boat. The stability, maneuverability, it just has so many wonderful factors. And then the fact that I can put my gear in there, keep it protected, and have it on both sides of me however I need to, is just a real bonus. So the X as a fly fishing platform, I think is going to be a wonderful choice for those of you that always want to use the long rod, or guys like me that just use it occasionally when it's a lot of fun. Hope this helps.